Vicky, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I make tulle veils, and I'm going to show you 3 different techniques depending on the style of veil that you want to create. So the first technique creates this really gathered puffy look. The second technique is half gathered, so we do some gathering but not the full width of the tulle, which creates a look like this. And then the third look has no gathers at all, which creates this really smooth plain look. This is the most popular veil that I do at the minute. It used to be gathered ones, but in the last probably 5 or 6 years it's moved towards these really ungathered that just sit really smooth and drop really plain over your head. So I'll show you how to do all 3, because depending on the style you want, you can use different techniques to create that. This one's very 50s, 60s, or even 80s if you style it that way. This one's more, I used to make this one a lot in the late 90s, early 2000s, but it still gives a really beautiful veil if you just want that extra volume here. To make all these veils, I've used 108-inch wide or 274cm wide tulle. I get mine from fabric.com, and this is the colour Silk White. You can find extra wide tulle in most fabric shops. The first thing you need to do is decide how long you want your veil. So to decide how long you want the blusher, which is the bit that you can wear forward over your face, take your tape measure, hold it where you're going to wear the veil, so where the comb goes into your hair, and then measure forward to the length you want it to hang down when it's over your face. And to measure the length, keep it in exactly the same place and measure down your back to the length you want it. If you want to go onto the floor, you probably need a friend to help you work out the full length there. I've used different lengths of tulle for all 3 of these. So my super puffy one has a 23-inch blusher and is 25-inch long at the back. This half gathered one has a 25-inch blusher and is 30 inches long at the back. And my long smooth one has a 25-inch blusher and is 75 inches long at the back. I'm going to show you quickly on paper how to cut your tulle to make your veils, because it's really hard to see it on my carpet, but then I'll show you as I do it as well. So first of all, take your 2 measurements, so your blusher and your length, and add them together. This is the length of tulle you need to cut. So for my little puffy one, I'm doing 23, 25, which gives me 48. So then cut a 48-inch piece of tulle. Next, you need to leave it folded in half. So this is our 108-inch width here, and fold it in half along here. Then fold it this way so these corners line up, so you end up with all 4 corners together. And then you need to cut them into a curve. From there, you then need to open it back up and then fold it along the 118th width of the tulle this way. So you end up with your 23 inches and your 25 inches there. So you've got your blusher and then the back, and this is the full width of your tulle. And then this is the part that you gather or attach to the comb. So I'll show you now as I do it, but hopefully it will make sense after seeing this diagram if you can't see the tulle on my carpet. This is one of my 48-inch pieces as I've cut it off the bolt, so it's actually folded in half and in half again at the minute. So what I need to do is unfold it halfway. So this is my folded edge, and that's my open edge here. And then I need to fold it in half the other way, so I bring all 4 corners together over here. So now I've got it folded. These are my 4 corners here, and I'm just going to cut around here and curve that corner off. I'm cutting through all 4 layers at once. So now that's trimmed, I can open it up again. And now I'm going to open it up to the full width. So this is the full width of my tulle going that way. So that's my 108 inches this way. And I've got the centre here, and I'm going to fold this down to create my blusher layer. So that's going to fold over to 23 inches. I'm just going to double check. My bottom layer is here, and then the top layer over the top. And that is my 23 inches from the fold. Just going to even it up the whole way along. I'm going to be attaching all three of the veils onto these metal combs. I find these metal combs stay in the hair better than the plastic ones, and I find the plastic ones, the teeth can tend to snap off as well. So for this veil, I'm doing a fully combed look, which is going to make it really big and puffy. So I'm now going to gather the full width of this veil up to the width of this hair comb. So we're going to end up with the full 108 inches gathered to this width of the comb. Now this is all gathered, that's my full 108 inch width that's gathered up there. I'm now going to put the comb with the teeth facing downwards behind the longest side. So I've got my shorter blusher length on the top here and my longer length there, and I'm sewing the comb to that side of it. Next up I'm doing my half gathered veil, which is a 25 inch blusher, 30 inch length. So I've cut a 55 inch length of tulle. I've done the same as I did for the first veil and folded it with all four corners together and rounded them off. And now I've got the full width laid out, and I've got it folded in half that way with my 25 inch and 30 inches here. The shorter layer is on top. So for this style, I'm only going to gather half of the width, but I want to gather the middle half. So I'm going to measure 27 inches in from each end and just mark it with a pin. Next I'm going to gather between the two pins, and I'm going to gather it up to the width of the same metal comb as I used on the first one. And again, just stitch the comb on underneath like that with the shortest layer of the blusher on top. So this last veil is my long one with no gathers at all. So for this one the blusher is 25 inches and the length is 75 inches. So I cut a 100 inch piece off my bolt of tulle. I've done the same and curved the corners, folded it along the width, and this time all I've done is mark the centre along the fold. So that's my 108 inches this way, and I've marked the very centre of it here, and all I'm going to do is stitch my comb on underneath without doing any gathers at all. So these are my three finished veils. So after I sewed the comb onto this one, I decided just to add a little bow, just because it's super cute and gives it that real vintage vibe. So this is how this one looks back, and then if you want to wear it over your face, this is how it looks with the blusher layer forward. So you still see your bow there. It's super cute, super full, and the more you pull it apart, the more kind of height and puff you get to it. And you can see these layers are completely separate because we've gathered up the full width. Then this is the one that we gathered just the centre of. So you can see you've still got some length at the side here. So when you pull the veil over, if you're going to wear the blusher over your face, it comes over like that, but then you've still got this length that sits nicely down over your shoulders. And on this one I just added a little bit of lace to the comb. And then the last one is our super smooth one. So you can see we've got loads of length and loads of fullness, but it hangs really straight because there's no gathers, there's no puff or volume at all. This one, all I've done is cover the comb with some of the offcuts of tulle. Most of my clients like to have their veil and their headpiece separately so that they can take the veil off for the reception and keep the headpiece in. So if you do it like this with just the tulle, just to neaten the end of the comb, either you or your client can put the veil in, they can slide the comb of their headpiece in behind it, and it looks like it's one piece when it's worn together. But when you're ready to take the veil off, you can just take both out and then slide your headpiece back in, and you've got your headpiece for the reception, but you haven't got the worry, especially if it's a long veil. Sometimes it's nice to take them off and have a little change of look for the reception, or just if you're worried about people standing on it and ripping it as well. There's lots of other ways to make veils as well, but this is how I make my double layer veils when you want a blusher. You can make single layers and just attach the comb to one edge, as well as decorating the comb or having a headpiece at the top. You can also decorate the tulle, so you can add crystals or lace trim around the edge. You can add a scattering of crystals or beads or pearls throughout the veil as well, depending on the look you're going for. Ombre dye veils have been really popular recently. So here's a pink ombre dye that I did a while ago. I used jacquard acid dyes to dye the tulle. Tull's made of nylon, so they dye the nylon really well. I've already got a video up on my channel about ombre dyeing fabric. I'll link to that in the description if you do want to have a go at ombre dyeing your veil. I've also got a birdcage veil tutorial as well, if that style is more your thing. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave me a comment and leave me a thumbs up, and I'll be back soon with more videos.